In Ajegunle, Lagos, where danfos fight for space on dusty streets and rap battles spark fire at every corner, lived a boy named Obinna. At 16, his rhymes shook the crowd like thunder, his words rolling out heavy and raw. Everyone swore he would make it big one day. But what no one saw was the war inside him. No patience, no discipline, no direction. The same voice that made the streets clap was tearing his home apart. And when the one person holding him together, his mother, was gone, Obinna almost lost everything. This is not just the story of a boy with talent. It is the journey of how discipline turned his life around. From Ajegunle's chaos to Abuja's runways, from a restless tongue to steady hands on a sewing machine. This is the story of how Obinna discovered that real freedom doesn't come from doing whatever you want. It comes from mastering yourself. In the heart of Ajegunle, Lagos, where dusty streets echoed with the honk of danfos, the hum of generators, and the laughter of children, lived a boy whose feet moved faster than his thoughts and whose tongue was quicker than his temper. His name was Obinna. Obinna was only 16, often seen in a torn Arsenal jersey, commanding attention at every street corner rap battle. His rhymes were raw and electric, and people swore he would make it big someday. Words came to him like rain, heavy, untamed, and loud. But beneath the applause and admiration, one truth remained. Obinna had no direction. He lacked discipline, had no plan, and refused structure. He could freestyle for hours, but couldn't stay seated for 5 minutes in class. The same boy praised on the streets was a terror at home, especially to his mother, always running, from rules, from responsibility, from consequences. Inside a dim room lit by flickering daylight, his mother, Mama Obi, lay coughing on a raffia mat. Her voice was gentle but weary when she said, "Obinna, my son, one day, talent go fail you. But character will carry you far." Obinna, frustrated, turned away. "Mama, leave that matter. When I make it big, you go rest. Go sell pepper again." She looked at him quietly. "I don't want rest for money. I want peace of mind. Will you give me that?" Silence filled the room as her cough worsened. Her tired eyes lingered on him, full of love and warning. 2 weeks later, Mama Obi was buried. Her death marked the end of Obinna's innocence. The only person holding him back from destruction, armed only with prayers and warnings, was gone. And so, the street took him in again, and he ran to it. Obinna fell in with a local crew. His nights were filled with shows, betting, weed, and women. They started calling him Obi Fire, a name that ignited dance floors, street corners, and trouble alike. He chased popularity as though it was freedom, but he never realized that freedom without discipline is simply another form of slavery. One night, a police raid caught him off guard at a cyber cafe. While his friends escaped, Obinna was arrested. "You day sharp with mouth, ABI?" One officer sneered. "We go see whether mouth goes save you for sell." By morning, an older man arrived at the station. He was quiet, dressed in simple native wear. "I'm his uncle," he said. "I'll take him." The officer scoffed. "Better tie your goat well-o. That one day, waka anyhow." And so, Obinna found himself at Obinna Nduka's compound, an old tailoring shop filled with spools of thread, needles, and a clattering singer machine. His room was plain and boring, the opposite of everything he loved. "You're not a child. You're not a man," Obinna Nduka said, sternly. "You're in between, and that's the most dangerous place to be." Obinna, sarcastic, asked, "So what now? You want to turn me tailor?" "No," his uncle replied. "I want to teach you discipline. Tailoring is just the tool. Your life is the fabric." Training began. Obinna struggled. The needle pricked his fingers, the iron burned him, and the days were long and dry. He rebelled, complained, groaned, but Obinna Nduka never shouted, never struck him, never begged. He simply woke each morning and stitched discipline into their routine. One night, Obinna sat alone, humming softly while stitching. A line came to him. He reached for his notebook and scribbled. "Chains no day loud, but them day tight. Not freedom I want, but I know day fight." His music hadn't died. It had matured. For the first time, He was writing not to impress, but to express. For years past, Obinna, now 20, walked with purpose. He dressed in his own stylish, handmade clothes. The same community that once pitted him now called him Tailor of Fire. Teenagers looked up to him. Discipline hadn't killed his dreams. It had given them legs. Then came a letter. Obinna was invited to the National Tailor of Tomorrow competition in Abuja. He stood staring at the paper, heart racing. When you sew with patience, Nduka said calmly, people will wear your work with pride. Go, show them. Obinna boarded the train to Abuja. For the first time in his life, he left Lagos. He arrived with his box of folded outfits, eyes wide with wonder at the city's order, its richness. But he brought one thing with him, discipline. At the competition venue, tailors from across Nigeria stood proud and prepared. Some were flashy, some quiet. Obinna's designs were simple, but his cuts precise. When it was time to introduce himself, he said softly, Obinna Nduka from Ajegunle. I sew streetwear, traditional wear, and stories. Some of the others chuckled. That night, an Abuja influencer known as Miss Diva Coco slid into his DMs. She liked his vibe and invited him to a party. Obinna dressed and walked to the hotel lobby, then paused. He pulled out a crumpled note, his mother's words, talent go fail you, but character go carry you. He turned back. He knew the chains were forming again, soft, tempting, invisible. But this time, he refused to wear them. The next day's challenge was to create an outfit representing tomorrow's Nigeria. For 8 hours, contestant worked. Obinna's fingers moved with calm focus. He designed a piece with modern flair and cultural depth. I bought his sleeves on a bomber jacket, a dyer pattern lining. It was not loud or boastful. It was layered. Like him, during a break, an elderly man in a flowing kaftan approached him. You stitched it yourself? Yes, sir. Your name? Obinna Nduka, sir. The man nodded. Your clothes are honest. I'm Chief Al-Hassan. I mentor youths like you. When this is over, I want a conversation. A door had opened, not through noise, but through excellence. The night before the finale, Obinna sat alone, reflecting on Pa Nduka's lessons. He heard his uncle's voice in his mind. You think self-control is hard? Try being a prisoner of your own habits. If you can master your morning, you'll master your future. On the final day, each tailor had to walk the runway in their own design. Obinna stepped out wearing his creation, bold yet elegant. On the back, stitched in red thread, were the words, Ajegunle raised. Discipline made. The judges were impressed. Your finish is clean. Your design is daring. But your presentation? Grounded. Who are you? Obinna smiled. Someone who used to run. Now I build. One stitch at a time. Then the winner was announced. Obinna Nduka from Ajegunle. He bowed deeply, not in pride, but in gratitude. The boy who once ran from rules now stood still and let freedom crown him. When he returned to Ajegunle, he opened a small tailoring school for boys and girls. He didn't just teach them how to sew, he taught them how to live. Freedom isn't doing what you want, he told them. It's being able to say no to what wants to ruin you. A framed photo of Pa Nduka hung on the wall. He had passed, but his lessons lived on. Obinna's story began to travel. A documentary about him, stitched in the fire, went viral. He was invited to speak at a fashion gala in Lekki. On live TV, wearing an Ibadah he had made himself, he answered the host's question about his success. Discipline. The freedom you want is tied to the decisions you avoid. The audience clapped. In music, the host asked, We heard you used to rap. Obinna nodded. Music is still in me, but I no longer sing to impress people. I create to inspire patience, the kind that raised me. After the show, a record label CEO, Don Clef, approached him with a flashy deal, a fashion line, a debut EP, a major cut. Obinna looked at the contract, then smiled. Sir, I'm honored, but I don't need your stage to sing my truth. Back home, under lantern light, Obinna stitched silently while his students laughed in the background. One began to sing a line he had written. Discipline no day shine like gold, but he day carry you where gold no reach. Obinna had learned. Fame is loud. Freedom is quiet. One day in Surulere, during a mentorship event, A teenage boy named Chuka approached him. Sir, I sabi so small. But I day street. I no get patience. You fit teach me how you change. Obinna smiled. No one taught me how to change. They taught me how to wait. And waiting changed me. Over time, Obinna expanded his school, now called Thread and Fire Academy. He added music classes, poetry nights, and life talks. Boys and girls who once wandered the streets of Ajegunle now came to learn, to grow. He didn't just become free. He started freeing others. Eventually, he returned to his mother's old pepper stall, now transformed into a youth resource hub. He hung a new sign that read, Mama Obi's Room, where freedom begins. She told me talent go fail, he said, placing the sign. She was right, but she also knew character go carry you. And now, I carry others too. In the quiet of the night, older now, Obinna sat journaling. I used to think freedom was doing whatever I wanted, he wrote. Now I know. Freedom is the reward for doing what is right, even when no one sees it. Years later, Chuka, now grown, led a class of his own. Obinna stood in the doorway and watched him with pride. The boy who once broke every rule now helped others build lives they never imagined possible. Because the chains you break aren't made of metal. They're made of impulse, fear, and delay. And once you break them, you're free forever. Moral of the story. Discipline is the foundation of true freedom. While talent may open doors, only self-control, patience, and daily discipline can sustain success and build a life of purpose. Obinna's journey shows that the freedom we often chase is not found in doing whatever we want, but in mastering ourselves enough to make the right choices, even when it's hard. Discipline today creates liberty tomorrow. The chains you break are not around your wrists, they're within your habits. That brings us to the end of the story. What lesson did you take from it? Share your thoughts in the comment section. Don't forget to leave a like, subscribe, and turn on post notifications so you'll know whenever we release a new video. Also, feel free to share this with someone who might enjoy it. Thank you so much.